Good morning. I'm early, as ever. It's cold down here. It is 15 degrees and it got down to 13.8 last night. So I think we're going to have to start turning on the little ambient heat radiator to try and keep this. Mind you, there are no pipes in here. There aren't any pipes at all. Just had an email to Circle Live. That's great. There aren't any pipes in here to keep warm and not frozen, so maybe Dad will say no to that. But we shall see. You are a little far over. Let's pull you this way, if I can. Depends which way the wheels are facing. That's better. So, good morning, everybody. How is everybody? Dog bed in the way. I have got some kind of tidying up down here to do. Justin UK is here. Hello, welcome. And then I've got some tracing to do, possibly, and some altering to do. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best bet. I need to take. There's so many bits and pieces all over the place. I haven't really been down here except on Friday to film the lookbook. Since I got back, my sojo's disappeared again. I think it's just because I need to really do a project that I'm really excited about. So one of those is the Geeky jumper project, which is why I thought getting prepped on that today would be a good idea. So yeah, I have my Black Forest Gâteau hot chocolate. So that's going to be very delicious. Barbara's here. Hi Sian, hello. Desi says hi, you're looking lovely today. Thank you very much. It is finally back to my stretchy dress weather. It's chilly, so this is the Victory Patterns Jackie dress in velvet, and this is a little McCall's shrug in a poly knit that I got from the Textile Centre ages ago. I've made two things out of it. This one is really nice. The only trouble is I'm wearing a velvet dress and the velvet nap is going down this way, and getting this on and getting it to sit comfortably is not the one. It's not working because obviously velvet, it's kind of pushing against the velvet and it keeps riding up. But this is lightweight enough that I think I'm getting away with it. But I just keep having to pull the sleeves on my velvet dress down every now and again because they keep riding up. But never mind. But yes, I wore my first scuba dress yesterday and tried to film an outfit of the day short and struggled because I want to edit it on my camera and my laptop and post it from there. I don't want to do it on my phone because I don't have a mount for my phone, and it's proving really difficult to do because obviously you've got to film them portrait, and I can do that on my camera, but then getting it to export as a portrait video from Final Cut Pro, you can do it, but then you have to do certain other things, and it's just it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I might just end up buying a new mount for my camera. I thought I'd got one. I'd got one of those really fancy ones with like a remote control and a little light and stuff like this, and it won't let me mount the phone portrait, which is kind of pointless. So yeah, never mind. I will get there. Karma's here. Good morning from Cape Town. Hope everyone is doing well. Very well, thank you. Maverick60, morning from sunny Kent. Good morning. Rebecca says good morning from Denver. Good morning. It's very morning where you are, isn't it? Yeah, so you'll have noticed as well that yesterday's video went out this morning, about an hour ago. There was a giant glitch with YouTube yesterday, and millions of creators, not just me, millions of creators all around the globe had their monetization bar just disappear. Because when you upload a video, you have to go through like 6 screens to kind of put in all the information, the title, the thumbnail, those kinds of things, the description. The next one is, do you want to monetize? And obviously this is my job, this is my full-time job, so yes, I do. And then the next screen is you have to click off a bunch of checklists to say that it doesn't have swearing, adult content, violence, anything that goes against the community guidelines. And then you certify that that's correct, and then you go through that screen. Those 2 screens had completely disappeared. And when I was uploading it, I was like, well, this is weird. This is really weird. So yeah, I got the video up and my monetization was still there. My AdSense account looked fine. And monetization was still available on the left hand of the screen, but all of my videos, the monetization button had gone, and I was just like, ah. And the lookbook video, I'd worked really hard on it, and I kind of think I mean, I don't know with the algorithm. I don't know about getting my stuff shown to other people. I thought like an autumn capsule collection might get clicks from people outside of, you know, my subscribers. Not, and not that there's nothing wrong with my subscribers. I just would like to grow my audience because, as I say, full-time job. And yeah, it had all gone, and it was like, oh crap! And that video took a long time to film, took a long time to edit, and I really like it. And I had a lot of fun doing it, so I'm not complaining. But it was one of those ones where it's like, I can't put this out without monetization on it, because that's just mad. And most videos get their biggest set of views in the first 24 hours that they go up. So I've been trawling the internet. The YouTube help creator help tab, like the chat little icon, is down and not working, because I would imagine, as I say, it's affected millions of people. So I was imagining that lots and lots of people are like, help, and they've turned that off. So that was fun. But I found a couple of videos of people talking about it and saying, you've done nothing wrong. I thought I'd been shadow banned. I thought, like, oh God, what have I done wrong? Copyright strikes, checked all of that, nothing wrong. So yeah, found a video, and he was just like, so I found like this kind of like weird little backdoor glitch in it. So if you go into this part and you press this button, then refresh the page, then go back there, it comes back. And he was right. So the video went up this morning. I was thinking about leaving it until this evening, but I was like, you know what? I'll try and get as close to Saturday upload as possible. Yeah, fun times. Fun times. No. Artie Blade is here. Good morning. Tristan's here. Good morning. Sorry. I know the name, don't I? Caroline's here. Morning all. Good morning. Chris says morning or good evening from our motorhome in the Iron Knob Outback, South Australia. Living the good life and watching you shine. Nice. Good internet. Claire's here. Good morning from sunny Cheshire. Good morning. So yes, here's the aftermath of filming that lookbook. And I need to get all of that off of that rail, because whilst it will hold it, I don't want to trust that for a really long period of time. So let's move these down. And if I leave these up here as well, I forget, and then they end up in frame on lookbooks, which bugs me. So that's better. That's good. Caroline says it's Sernan's second birthday today. Where has the time gone? Wow. Where has the time gone? Blimey. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Right. And is this the full one? No, I think this is the one that's got some room in it. So I need to put away. Yes. I need to put away my card from Ali. Is it going to be too big? Oh no, it fits perfectly, because I like to put them in open so that I can see the card and then read them as well. And this, I'm really genuinely so lucky to have you guys. Like this is one. The other one is stuffed full. This is one of just all the stuff that you send me, the letters and cards and stuff. And yeah, if I ever feel down, all I have to do is have a flick through this, because you guys are awesome. So just tidying up. Got little bits and pieces everywhere. Really must get Rachel's fabric sorted as well. I'm going to do that next week. This bag can go in here, ready to become fabric scrap receptacle. So yeah, it's been a weird week. It's been a very weird week. A very weird week. Yeah. But we all have those, don't we? So yes. Tricia says, morning, Sean and Peeps from sunny Liverpool. Good morning. Oh dear. Might have to take this jumper off, you know, because it really is, the sleeves riding up's bugging me. It's really bugging me. Lynn's here. Good morning. Good morning. Right, so I need to get the 3 jumper patterns out. Right, okay. There's one of them. Stereo, Katrin and Sue. And I think I'm going to stick down this a little bit better, because Dilek printed out the picture for me of the sweater and stuck it onto the front, but it wasn't on sticker paper, so it does flap free a little bit, so we'll just stick that down a little bit better. There we go. There's one and 2. Yeah, I'm going to finish my hot chocolate though. Marissa says, hi Sian and Peeps from Brisbane. Good evening. How are you? Oh, pen on the floor. Not good. It's one of the silk pins as well, so I'll just put that there for the now because the silk pins live in there and I can't get at them. So it can go there for now. Delicious. Delicious. Right, yes. Okay. This is one of those things that it's like the perfect temperature for a very short period of time, so you kind of have to down it at that period of time. It's almost drinkable once it's made, almost, but not quite. Do you know what? The velvetizer is one of the best things I ever bought. It really did make me happy, or does make me happy. Just had an email to say that there's a comment on the on the lookbook. Carolyn says, the stupid darts are stupid. Beautiful make, fun combos. Enjoyed the collection. Ah, thank you very much, Carolyn. Yes, the stupid darts are stupid on that 1743. And I love the theme of the dress. I love the overall idea of the dress. But once I've done my blocks in January, I am going to redraft it so that it fits me, and so that the dart points, the apex, the dart points don't come here, because on the pattern, Lynn knows this, I sent Lynn a photo of it. On the pattern, the apex point is marked and then the dart comes above the apex point. And no wonder you get pointed darts. But I tried moving them, I tried everything with a stupid pattern, and the stupid darts are stupid. But the skirt is glorious, so I'm really glad I tried it. So yeah. Marissa says, good, thank you. We just got back from a weekend away in the Bunya Mountain. It's so beautiful, birds and wallabies. Nice. Nice. Oh, can I come and live there for the winter? When I win the lottery, I'm putting it out in the world now, I will win the lottery. When I win the lottery, I am totally following summer around the world with a few weeks of like snow, specific purposeful snow, and then just, yeah, hot. My lizard self would be very happy. Barbara says hot chocolate is one of the small pleasures of life, definitely. And if you don't have a hot Hotel Chocolat velvetizer, you should definitely get one. So happy. Lynn says, I still maintain that the upper dart is too high and would never work, but I'm not an expert. No, I agree with you, Lynn. I think, well, I've proved it 3 times. The stupid dart is stupid. The one that really bugs me. The other two I'm not so bothered about because, you know, the lemon one and the black with pink florals, I'm not too bothered about those. They were nice fabrics, but I'm sad, you know, I'm like, you know what? They're going to make great skirts. I'm going to cut the top off, put a waistband on, and just use them as skirts because fine. The one that bugs me is the Lisa Chandler one, the kind of white with all the pattern matching that I did. But I can get more of that fabric and I can remake the bodice if I do draft myself one. I tried refashioning it when I did my I hate alterations. Let's do a whole bunch of alterations video, and loads of you guys were saying that I should have taken in at the dart as well to bring up that area, and not the dart, the yoke. And yeah, you're right, but we all know how I feel about alterations, and the idea of doing that does not appeal. It really does not appeal at all. So no, I would rather redraft the bodice, resew the bodice. I only need to get the overall print fabric. I have enough of the border print ones or the stripe print ones left. That was delicious. Right, I can now concentrate. Let's see if Papa is going to be kind as well. He's outside at the moment. He's doing some gardening. Papa, I got under 14 degrees in here last night. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Should we start thinking of that? I am live as well, just in case you start swearing. Should we start thinking about putting the radiator on at 14? Yeah. It was 15 when I came in, and it was down to 13.8. We have a thermometer to prove it. It was just under 14 degrees last night. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I was saying there's no pipes down here to freeze, so you might not be.
No, there's nothing to freeze in here at all.
No.
Nothing whatsoever.
Where did Mum put her grey extension cord? Because the radiator cord is not long enough to fit that to that plug, and that's where it has to live. It's the one that's got like the really bendy thing on it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, it doesn't matter.
We've got millions.
We'll find it, yes, but it only needs to be like 1 meter long.
Yeah.
Because that's the most convenient set of thingies to stick it onto.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah. Do you want to say hi to the peeps?
Hello.
Hang on.
Hi.
There you go. You've got a Fwiff sighting. They keep asking for you. They're very much looking forward to Vlogmas.
Oh.
Yes, because they'll get daily Fwiff sightings. Yeah. So.
Well, you could follow me around in the garden if you want.
It's too bloody cold out there.
Yeah, it's not cold.
No. It's 15 degrees, Papa. It's cold.
No.
See, he always runs hot. Mum and I are both lizards. Yeah, I'm going to have to take this jumper off because he's bugging me. It's really bugging me. Comes off really easily. Does not go on easily. Really bugging me. So, yes. I'm, fingers crossed, working with Lily Silk again next month. They asked me. So I'm very excited about that. And one of the things they're going to send me is a silk roll neck t-shirt, which would be great to wear with this. The only downside is that there is like an opening at the back here. But you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, yeah. Right. There's no putting this off anymore, is there? Is there? Oh, I need to. Yeah, there is. I need to get the ironing board back out. Procrastination at its finest. Procrastination at its absolute finest. Go. Iron is on. Where would Mum have hidden that? She's put it somewhere safe. This is the trouble. And then she puts it somewhere else safe, and then I don't see where it goes, and then I just get confused. Much confused. So yes. Anyway, right. So today I have my 3 patterns. We've got the Sue, the Katrin, and the Stereo sweater. Now this one I have had it printed out but I do need to work out what size I need to trace and trace it. And I am going to trace I'm not going to cut it out, I'm going to trace it. I know loads of people think I'm mad, but it costs a lot of money to have these printed and sent to you. So, and you know, I might want to make it again in the future at a different size. So, yeah. I'm getting comments on today's video. Thank you, everybody. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yes, I'm not saying go and watch it now, but if you could all watch that video, that would be great. Thank you. Oh, no, that's, be quiet. Be quiet. Do not want. Shh, be quiet. There we go. Excuse me. Carolyn says, "Oh, the whiff. Hello, lovely guy. Hello, happy gardening." He's very happy out there. He's moving fences, as you guys know. There's a little bit more drilling to do, and then a lot of painting. But yes, he's gained an extra bit of back garden. So yes, there's going to be another fence that goes in as well, so that the dog cannot get at this side of the garden, because as you guys probably have heard many times, our neighbour has a schnauzer called Rue. He's adorable, but her and Susie hate each other, and it's not even just a mild dislike, it's a passionate hatred of each other, and it was developed pretty much the moment they heard each other on the other side of the fence. And it happens if they meet in real life as well. They can obviously smell each other, they can smell each other coming, all the hackles go up. Both of them are like, so mum ends up picking Susie up and our neighbours kind of like walk Rue around. They despise each other, and we've built a little like temporary kind of fix so that the dog can't get, there's a weak point in the fence, or there is going to be a weak point in the fence the way she throws herself at it. So we've built a little temporary fix for that, but yeah, Dad's going to put another gate in so that the garden part is away from the driveway part, because we're currently in the garage, and fingers crossed that will help with some of the screaming at each other. Fun times. Fun times. Mim says, "Hi, Sean. How are you today?" And hi, everybody. Very well, thank you. How are you? Conchetta's here. Good morning, Peeps. Good morning. Jenny says, "Morning, Peeps. This time last week, I was stuck on a coach back from the dressmaker's ball. Oh, it was so lovely to meet you. It was so, so lovely to meet you. And you did look fabulous in your velvet PJs. So, yes, I have a cold drink. This is good. This is good. Right. Okay. Right. So let's get the Sue and the Katrin done. So I have made both of these. They do not look good on me as is. My niece had both of them. I made them out of inexpensive Ponte to trial them out, and I do not like them that length, but I love the overall jumpers. The color blocking options that they've got on them are pretty awesome, which is why I think they're going to work really well for those geeky panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it. Now this one I can't decide if I want to put on a waistband that I then gather the body of the jumper into, and I kind of think I'm going to go for that one. The other option is just to put on a waistband that fits like this and have it loose at the bottom, and if it's sitting kind of here, that even if it was loose it would still show off that I do go in at this point. And the reason that I'm doing that is because when I put them on, it went straight up and down here, and it made this part look huge, and I obviously do go in there, and it wasn't right for me. It wasn't right for me. It would look amazing on my sister-in-law. She has done the whole kind of like what body type am I? She's a rectangle. So that kind of thing would look amazing on her because she is the same all straight up and down. So there's nothing. And so I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. But for me, this one was not right. I did get quite a few comments saying, "You're kind of missing the point of a slouchy jumper." And it's like, yeah, but I've got a little tickle in the back of my throat. I don't want to make clothes that are slouchy. I don't want to make clothes that I don't want to be seen in. I don't want to make clothes that are like, you know, the put it on, because even if I am having one of those days where I'm like, don't feel great, want to kind of wrap up in PJs or something like that, I still want them to be nice PJs. And nice doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have to be comfortable. So yeah, many words there, but I'm going to try and crop this one, and I think it's going to work. So it's going to be really nice, big and oversized, and I think having it cinch in here, and we all know my torso, I've said this many times, is 17 inches. I'm going to make it 18.5 inches from the back of the neck, and I think that having it crop and cinch in here, it doesn't have to be like super tight, but just sort of fitted in this area, I think will make it look really nice. It's going to be really big and oversized, so slouchy jumper, but just the fact that it will kind of go sit here. And all of my tracksuit bottoms are high-waisted, all of my pajama bottoms are high-waisted, so it's not like I'm going to end up with midriff showing or anything. So yeah, and again, the joy of sewing is that you can tweak things to make them work for you. So yes. Susan's here. Hi, Sean and Peeps from Adelaide. Good evening. Sal's also here. Good evening, Sal. Mim says, oh, and you're wearing one of my most favourite dresses you made. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have some of this fabric left. I do have a little bit of this fabric left. I'm hoping I've got enough for an Adrian tee with the long cuffs on it. December, was it you, Jen and Pins? Or was it Gia Gracer who christened Vlogmas this year Knitmas? And then there was me thinking, Mum, knitting something every day. That's going to be awful. And then it was like, no, Sean, you've said you want to make all your knit fabrics up into stuff. And it was like, I was being really slow that day. But yes, we're going to do Knitmas this year. Knitmas, all of my knit projects and one coat. One coat. Danielle says, good evening from Perth. Good evening. Kiki says, I'm here. I made it. My first live. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Right. So I'm going to go in, give these all a quick press. I'm going to take the other two patterns that I'm not working on at the moment away. So give these all a press, and then we can work out, or try and work out, how much we need to trim off of some of these pattern pieces. And then I'm going to get you guys to help me work out which kind of fabric piece should go where. I'm really excited about these jumpers. Like, when I finally kind of had like that epiphany moment of, I think it was during a hangout with you lot actually, wasn't it? When I had that epiphany moment of, oh, this is what I should make with these panels. I was like, yay. Okay. Now they have some interesting panels in them, so getting them to be the right length is going to be interesting, but we can do it. We can do it. I know we can do it. That's why you guys are here, for moral support. I actually might plug the radiator in because I'm cold. It's only 16 degrees and I have taken my jumper off. Dad will tell me off for that. He will say that I should have dressed warmer, and now I know. So I'm only going to wear these velvet dresses if hello, little radiator. It's been a while. Is it on? I have no idea if you're on or not. Usually you beep at me. Why aren't you beeping at me? Oh, there you go. Oh, I need to tell it what time it is. Oops. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Hi, my friend. My little friend. I'm going to be so happy. There we are. I have to put it over there as well, because the other place it can go is over here, but if it goes over here, I'm nice and toasty, and then Mum's freezing over there. Not for long. It does, it works. It's a very good, efficient radiator, and because of all the insulation in here, it does heat up quite quickly. Right, okay. Jen Pin says, totally understand you wanting to crop the jumpers. Since my hourglass shape is re-emerging, I want to show my waist off as well. Yes. Yes. Carolyn says, here for the enabling mean moral support. Lovely. Sal says, I just watched the new Hellraiser movie and it's just as good as the original. I shall have to take your word for it and not listen anymore, because I do not do scary movies. Watched Hocus Pocus 2 the other day. That's as scary as I get. I enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting groundbreaking cinema. I don't think anyone should have done. And we did a double marathon because Mum had never seen Hocus Pocus before, and neither had my niece, although she did disappear. Mum was held hostage and couldn't leave. We watched it at my sister-in-law's. Right, but I enjoyed it. Let's see. So we need the front and the back, the waistband. The sleeve is good. We need the side panel, and the cuff and the neckline are also good. They do not need any alterations in them. Okay. So we're going to start with the back, try and work out the length of the back. Now, the seam allowance on this is 3/8 of an inch. So I'll draw that in. And then, as I mentioned, I want it to be 18.5 plus the seam allowance. So there. So we're taking a good chunk out of this. Probably be more exciting for you guys if you could kind of see what I was doing, wouldn't it? So let's put you over there and tip you down a little bit. There we go. Lynn says, I watched Sleepy Hollow last night and the costumes are gorgeous. Everybody is obsessed with that black and white striped dress that she wears for like 5 seconds at the end of the movie. I can see why it's gorgeous. And it's really, really gorgeous. So I do get it. My list of things that scare me, I did have like the Doctor Who cosplay on it. The idea of making a suit doesn't scare me that much. What does scare me is the price of the fabric. Like the only one that I found that came close was like £300. So yeah, I've taken that one off, but I do kind of like the idea of making something from the movie. And I'm thinking, I really like the 1860s and the Romantic era, and I don't necessarily want to do a historically accurate recreation. I would use modern fabrics, modern machine. I have no interest in hand sewing that much of anything, but I love kind of like that, the the round hoops, or the rounder hoops, and there are some really gorgeous patterns out there. So I was thinking maybe I should put that on. Sorry, the Sleepy Hollow comment has made me think about it. Yeah. Kiki says, I watched Hocus Pocus 2 yesterday. Very nostalgic. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, like I say, it wasn't groundbreaking cinema. I wasn't expecting it to be, but it was fun. It was definitely fun. So, yeah. Right. I am cutting off lots. that much. That's my new pattern piece. Taken off a lot. So I need to keep these bits that I'm cutting off as well, because I do want to try and maybe film some of this for the vlogs. Now, let's see. Is that the front and that back? Yep, that's right. So, because this is the side panel with like a gusset under the arm so that the arm moves. So this is going to be fun to try and shorten. So what I'm going to do is match up the notches and then draw a straight line through the grain line and hope for the best. One of the nice things about this is that it is a knit project, so some fudging is allowed. So yeah, that's quite a lot of that gone, but we shall see. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Trust the process. And like I say, I'm keeping these pieces, and it's just right on this back Katrin. I'm keeping these pieces so that if it all goes horribly wrong, I can stick them back together. We love the confidence that I have in myself. Schnittchen, Katrin, side panel, cut to size 40. Because all of the bit that I wanted, all the bit that I had written about the pattern was on the bit that I'm going to cut off. So I really definitely want to keep it on the bit I'm keeping. Okay. And so now, did I get that right? Was this the front? No, that was definitely definitely. Okay, I have no idea if I'm doing this right. I am guesstimating here. I am completely guesstimating, but hopefully, Katrin, hopefully we will end up with something that fits. I liked them enough, except for the yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. I am going to go for a tighter waistband though, that I gather the bottom edges of these pieces into, because otherwise it's going to be giant. It's going to be really, really large, like really large. And the waistband that I had previously, I had to add an extra 5 inches to it because my hips are that big that it wouldn't fit on my hips previously. So I added an extra 5 inches to it. Right, so let's see. What's 28? That's 14, isn't it? So I'm going to do 15 inches. So that's 30 around the bottom. So it won't be skin tight. No, I'm going to do 29 plus the seam allowance. Let me do that. Am I taking off all the? Right. Because this one I can always, if I decide I don't like it, if it's not tight enough, I can always make it a bit smaller. I'd rather have it a little bit too large that I have to make smaller than have it too big and have to recut. Too small and recut. Words are hard. Okay, so they're all the pieces that I've trimmed off. Yeah. So that's the Katrin done. Let's move that over there. We'll put her little excess pieces over here as well. So I've gone for about 1.5 inches longer than my torso. Oh, the radiator's warming up. I'm so happy. I'm actually wondering if any of these pieces are going to be long enough for the motifs that I want to put in the front of them. The labyrinth one will be fine, but the other ones are quite tall. I'm wondering if I'm going to have enough space for them. Right. Let's do the same with the Sue. Now the Sue, I'm going to have to draft a new waistband for it because it has a shaped waistband, which is lovely, but just does not look good on me. We have tried it, and it is not the one. It is not the one. Dillick, when these were both the Sue and the Katrin were part of my KB pattern swap presents, and Dillick she knew that I liked these folders, so she tracked them down, she printed it out, she had it all printed on A0 for me as well. Dog screaming at the neighbour's dog. Might need to go and rescue those in a minute. So lots of pieces, get those ironed. Let's catch up with the chat. Karen, oh, she's going to growl at me in a minute as well. Susie, come on, wait. That's unnecessary. Rose done nothing to you. Come on, in, it's cold. Come on. Nope, she's not coming in. And as you guys know, Dad's doing construction work in the garden, so there's new stuff everywhere, so she keeps bumping into all the new stuff as well, bless her. Poor little blind bat. Where do we get to? Carolyn says, Lynn, I agree. I missed half the movie for looking at the costumes. The actors kept moving around, but a damper on my looking at them. Lynn says, I also love the silver grey velvet cape Christina Ricci wears, and it has red roses embroidered in the hood. Teresa says, that dress is stunning. May I ask what pattern it is? Hello from Wisconsin. Really cold here now. This is the Victory Patterns Jackie dress. I love this dress. It is secret pajamas. It looks like I've made a real effort, but it is so warm. Carolyn says, stunning, isn't it? And Teresa says, yes. Sal says, Christina Ricci makes an appearance in the Wednesday Addams Family Netflix show coming out. Cool, because she was the original Wednesday Addams, wasn't she? Tricia says, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Oh, yes, please. There are 85 of us and 40 likes. Carolyn says, Sal, that will be fun. Rotten Ralph's here. Good morning, peeps. Good morning. Lynn says, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday on Netflix. I hadn't even been aware of it, so thank you for letting me know. That's very kind of you. I shall be watching that. And Jenny Pin says, could you taper the sides in a bit towards the bottom? Of that one, no, because of this funky side panel, these seams are curved, and I do not want to mess around with these at all. Yeah, they goes under the arm like that, so there's like a gusset for extra movement, and I don't want to fuss with this. And I think it's going to look. I suppose yeah, but I just don't want to mess with those curves. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I like how, oh, Susie, I like things gathered in to show off my waist. So it's yeah. Susie, no. Hey. Unnecessary. Hey, come on. I think somebody's outside in the garden playing. He might have his kids over. So she's just getting very het up by noise happening in that area. So then I'm going to iron all these pieces nice and flat. That is the neck facing. Oh, they've got so many interesting shaped pieces. And getting rid of this shaped, getting rid of the shaped hem on the back of this might annoy some people, but it's not the only thing that I love about this sweater. So, and I'd rather use the pattern than not. But yeah, look at the shape of that. That's the back. That is the back. Oh, Nog. I might have to go and herd her inside. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't move the mannequin. And no stealing my clothes. I'm leaving you unsupervised. Come on, Sue. Dad to the rescue. He's bringing a extension cord. Why am I struggling for words today? Words are hard. Right. Let's see. Rotten Rouse says, how dare you move bits about in the garden? Don't you know the poor blind doggy owns that? I mean, to be fair, even if we didn't move anything around, she still walks into stuff. She's not learned. We're wondering if she's kind of going a little bit senile in her old age as well, because she's 14 years old now, bless her. We're wondering if like the memory is not there, because furniture that is built in and doesn't move, she still walks into it. So yeah. Moran says, hi from Israel. Today was the first rain called Hayori. Hayori? Did I get that right? The shooter. Ah, okay. Rotten Rouse says, I'm not stealing clothes, just possibly silk. Nice. Aha, thank you. Oh, cool. Pesky door jams and being pesky. I've got it over here cuddling me at the moment, but that doesn't work for Mum when we have to put it over there, because otherwise it just heats me. The other side of the radiator. Ironing board. Words are hard. Ah dear. Ah dear. And then it goes up against the door of the cabinet. Hello. There you go. Now you're on. Do you want to come out, so?
Yeah. I'll leave you to sort it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
and I'll put it down to 14 when I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and leave it on.
Yeah.
Do you want to reset? Oh, you're going to. He's resetting. Delicious. Right. So we're going to basically do the same thing with this one. So this is the back, and then obviously round to the front side panel. This is the underarm seam here, and then this is the little front piece, which is where the motif is going to go. I'm a little bit worried that they might be a bit short, so I might have to rethink. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. This one does have a yoke, so this one might end up being the labyrinth wide panel one. We shall see. We shall see. It'll be fine. We'll work something out. It'll be fine. Sal says someday put chains on the mannequin. How racist? No, you've got to stop giving me the freak out about these mannequins, because I swear my little brain doesn't compute reality. It's just like it gets images in its head, and then they stay there and haunt me forever. So no. Rotten Ralph says shorten the yoke. I could do, but they are quite short already. I think I'm going to go with this method for now, and we'll see. I think it's going to work. I'm confident enough that it's going to work that I'm going to cut straight into the fabrics. It's just going to be the correct placement of the motifs, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Rotten Mouse says bless about Susie. Carolyn says Salman is laughing. Moran says almost like ha yore. Ha yore. Ha yore? Is that better? Is that better? Alison says, hello Shining Peeps, greetings from Bendigo, where we have enjoyed a lovely spring day after all of the rain. Shan, how is Chiana today? She's very well, thank you. She has been sleeping on me since I got home. Usually she only does it for a night or two, but she is still sleeping on top of me, on top of the duvets and stuff like that. But yeah, like I wake up in the morning and she's like there. She's just like in my face. And thankfully it's face to face, because we all know how cats feel about showing you their butts. But yeah, face to face. And Alison, that fabric you found from Spotlight is gorgeous. And then somebody else has found another one from Spotlight that I'm going to try and show you in a second. Pippa has asked to join the Peeps group and has answered all the questions to join the Peeps group. So you have been approved, Pippa, if you are here. But here we go. I didn't realise it's rayon, but it's rayon. Oh my gosh. I need this. Like, I actually need this. It's got a little Chiana in it. That is a typical Chiana face as well. And Angelina, who was not supposed to be buying fabrics, and she's got 8.5 meters of this beautiful rayon. I need it. I need it. I need it. So Felicia says, hi everyone. Moran says, yes, perfect. Oh, I did it. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for the phonetics. The phonetics very much help. Bree says, hello, hello, hello. Bree says, I'll get you some tomorrow, 4 meters. That is very kind of you, Bree. 5 meters. Yes, please. Let me know how much I owe you and I shall send you monies. I'm not supposed to be buying fabric, but that one I need. You know that Dad's going to see it and just be like, shirt. So I might have to go for 8 meters actually, because then Dad could have a shirt out of it as well. If they have 8 meters, I'll have 8 meters. And no, Bree, no, 8, no. I shall pay for Bree's just said done. It'll be my gift. No, because you know Dad's going to see it and just be like shirt. So yeah, I will pay. I will pay, definitely. I'll see. Let me see if I can get his attention for a second, because we'll double check. Dad, can you make it down here again? Can you make it down this way again? I just want to get your reaction, see if I was correct. Mum's currently out at church, so Dad's in the garden with the dog pottering around. Let's see what he says. Just wanted to see if my reaction to this fabric was the same as yours, because I said that you'd say a certain thing. So when you see this print, no, I thought your reaction would be immediately shirt.
Well, I saw that this morning.
Isn't
actually.
It gorgeous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Bree is very kindly offering. It's in from Australia, so Bree's offering to go and get me some. And so I said 5 meters, and I was like, you know what, Dad's going to see it and go shirt. Yeah. So we need 8. Yeah. But no, Bree, we will pay. We will pay.
I saw it on the big screen this morning.
It's very pretty. You guys know me so well. Oh, are you going to the kitchen?
Well, eventually.
Oh, it's just I've got my hot chocolate cup. Thank you. If you're heading in that direction.
Eventually.
Thank you very much. It's going to be like the same as when Alexandra sent me that Lush Palms rayon, and I was just like, yeah, I need 10 meters. And she's like, yeah, it's my gift. And it's like, oh my God, no. Alison says, I will try and get some for you. I'm going to get 2 meters to make the ballad brows from Love Notions, as the shearing would look gorgeous. How many meters do you want? You guys are the best hookups. You guys are the best hookups. Alison, I know you've already got a giant parcel for me. So if Bree lets me pay her to get it, then it won't add to the weight of the parcel that you're sending me, Alison, because otherwise the parcel you're sending me is going to be like cost more in postage than it does in the stuff inside. Angelina says, good evening, Shan and Peeps. That's my fabric. Angelina, you are a terrible enabler, and there is fabric heading to the UK now. Bree says it's on special, it's real cheap. Ooh. Maybe we should get 10 meters then. And I will pay, Bree. I will pay. So Felicia says, I saw your lookbook with the beautiful jumpsuit you made, and it's inspired me to hack a pattern to make a pair, but I've come down with a cold. Oh, you poor thing. I hope you get better soon. Carolyn says, love the whiff and baby bothers, love of fun shirts. Strong shirts. They were loud shirts, and they've now been re-nicknamed strong shirts. So, yeah. Bree says, I bought some already for my husband and can get more. No worries. Awesome. Thank you, Bree. And yeah, Alison, thank you so much for the offer. But I will, because like I say, I know you're already sending me a giant parcel, and I really don't want to make the postage so high for you. So I will take Bree up on her offer if that's okay. Thank you. Julie says, hi, every peep that's here working today. Hello. Alison says, I could get you the shell fabric. Bree, if you have a Spotlight loyalty card, you should have a voucher that entitles you an extra 30% off. Oh, wow. That shell fabric is also gorgeous. Oh, you guys are so good to me, but also so terrible. Like, you enablers. You are terrible enablers. Right. Okay, so the front yoke and the back yoke, the neck facing, the cuff, and the sleeve do not need to be altered, so they can go over here now, which means that there's only 2 pieces on this pattern that need altering, which is nice. So we're going to do the same thing. 18.5, wasn't it? I've been talking so much, it's all gone out of my tiny brain. My little sieve brain. No, it was 18 with the extra. Was it 18? 18. No, 18.5. It was 8.5. Oh my goodness. My poor little sieve brain. So 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, 18 inches down from that, half an inch, and then 1, 2, 3. There we go. Ooh. Actually, do you know what? Ooh, okay. This one, I only need to shorten the back. I don't need to shorten the front, which is great. So I need to redraft the hem cuff facing. Words are hard, but making it, so I just need to take this little bit off, because I remember this one, it was pretty good at the front and it just came down at the back and didn't look great there. So again, this one's going to need to be gathered at the bottom to then fit on. But that means the only piece that I need to alter is, oh, that's awesome, because that's going to, yes, this is going to be good. So I'm going to cut that little bit off. Okay, so this is the Sue back, and that's the top. This is the waist piece here. Okay, and this is the front of, which is only, so that's 22. So what I'm going to do, this is what they wanted me to use for the front of the hem facing, and this is 11 inches, so that'll be 22, which is way too small. So what I will do is I'm just going to add a little bit of extra pattern paper onto this so that it can then be the correct width, because my waist is 28, or is it at the moment? I have been eating my body weight in digestive biscuits. Yeah, 28 if taut, not like uncomfortably taut, but you know, a fitted 28-inch waist. So that's good. So we need to stick this on. 28 divided by 2 is 14, and I'm going to make it 14 and a half, because (11, 14 and a half), because of the wonderful things it does. That will give me just a little bit of extra kind of wiggle room. You don't want it to be skin tight. And again, with these, I'm just going to gather in the bottom into, if I was using a stretchier fabric, I could possibly just do the kind of whole sewing a neckband into, you know, like pin it strategically and then pull it taut, and so that the fabric stretched to meet the waistband and then pinged back. But I have a feeling, because I'm not using super stretchy fabric, that this will look better if I gather the bottom edge in. Yeah. That was easy. So that's that one done. And again, I'm going to keep these little bits just in case. Sew back again, it's one of those things where I'm not saying that everybody has to do this to their patterns. Like, lots of people make this pattern as is and love it as is. But I just know that for me, it will never get worn. I made it, didn't like it on me, so I need to tweak it to get it to look right for me. So this one, I need to work out what size I need to trace, and I'm going to have to look at the pattern instructions on my laptop, which you guys are also on. So let's hope that I don't cut you off, because we all know that that's totally possible. Okay. What size stereo sweater should I be doing? Now, if I remember correctly, the instructions for this are brilliant and also very, very, very wordy. Misusu. Okay, just reorganizing some bits and pieces. Misusu patterns, yes, please. Stereo sweater. Tutorial, yes, please. Okay, 63 pages of tutorial. Okay, what size? Size. We want the size. Inches. Okay, high bust. What is my high bust these days? Do I even know that? High bust. Because it has cup sizes as well, up to a double J cup size, which is nice. 35. And 38. Okay, so high bust is 35. Bust is okay. So I am doing a size EE by the looks of things. What's the waist on that? 31. Yeah, that's okay. I can make it a little shorter if I want to. That's drafted for 5'6". So what we will do is we will trace it out and measure and see if we need to make it longer or shorter, or leave it just as it is. Let's see. Where did we get to? Read the chat. So Felicia says, thanks. I'm hoping it doesn't mean I have to cancel my sewing retreat next weekend. I've been looking forward to for some months. Of course, I haven't made all the stuff I wanted to for it. What are you working on? I hope you feel better. I hope you get to go to your sewing retreat. Of course, you've not made everything that you want to make for it, but that is always the way. And I'm working on my geeky jumpers. World Pass Knits says, love your videos. Thank you very much. Marianne says, what McCall pattern is that shrug that you had on? I knew you were going to ask me that. I knew you were going to ask me that. Now, where is it? I can never remember the number of this one. Will it be in here? Yes. 7289. McCall's 7289. I need to write that down, don't I? 7289. It is a David Tutera pattern. I like it a lot. I did this one, the cropped one. I need to memorize that because I do wear it a lot during the winter. Alison says, I wish my waist was 28 inches. Lol. Yes. Bree says 10 meters. My Spotlight has it for £8 per meter today, but there wasn't 10 meters left. So just checked out online, and it's still $8 per meter there. I've ordered 10 meters. It's being sent to me first, and then I'll get it to you. And she says, thanks to Alison, that's sorted. Brie, that is incredibly kind of you. Let me know where to send the monies, because I have badgered you into getting me 10 meters of that fabric. So you need to let me know where to send the monies. Alison says, Brie, are you going to get any of the rayon for yourself? Yes, you got it for your husband. Words are hard. Husband, are you going to make anything for yourself? Brie says, I thought about it. If you saw my fabric stash, you understand I have a problem. You don't have a problem. Nobody has a problem. You have a collection. I nearly got more of the sunflower print, but I also already have 5 meters of that, so it's just greedy. To Alison. Alison says, I'm going to get some of the gorgeous coral pink Paisy and some of the shell fabric, as I do have projects to make from them. I too have a huge fabric stash. It's fine. Karen says, hello from Brisbane, Australia. Sorry I arrived late on the phone to the UK. What pattern are you working on? I have just altered the 2 Geeky jumpers that I've already traced, and we're now going to trace out this Terio sweater. And I want to do these sleeves because they have like a little stripe that goes down the sleeves, and then I want to do this band and these cuffs. But that's one of the nice things about this, is that there's lots of different options. I also do really like the V here, but I do think I'm going to go for this one because of what I'm going to be using it for, and also ease of sewing in being lazy. Brie says to Alison, sounds perfect. What are you making with it? So Felicia says, nice. Alison says, Brie, the Love Notions ballad blouse with the shearing elastic. Julie says, got to go, break's over. Talk to you later. Thank you for joining us, Julie. Alison says, I have that McCall's pattern. It is a good one. Chris says, you have enabled me. I have ordered the rayon too. Is everyone going to be junglified? I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, E, size EE. Ooh, hello. Ah, why are there so many? Oh God. Why are there so many? Oh, there's 4. There's 4 of these. Why? Oh, that's why. Okay. 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 Really shouldn't have a pencil in my mouth. So, a whole A0 page for one pattern piece. I think the rest of it has got more on it. It'll be fine. Karen says, ooh, nice. I like the shape of that sleeve. Which pattern goes to JJ? Is that the Misusu one? Yes. It goes to JJ. It's right. So the instructions for this are incredible. They're really, really good. They talk you through every type of adjustment. So full bust, small bust, all those different adjustments for this particular pattern and the particular pattern pieces on it, which I love because some of these are unusual shapes. So it's drafted for a 5'6", and it does say if you have a bigger difference of 3 inches between your high bust and your full bust, that you should do a full bust adjustment. And as I say, it then talks you through doing it. They haven't done it for you. They just, I got it wrong. Their size range is AA through to JJ. But as I say, they do talk you through all of those adjustments. Rotten Ralph says, I need to get better at copying my clothes to make patterns. That would be a good talent to have. Although I have very few ready-to-wear pieces that actually fit me well, so it might not actually be that helpful for me, but it would be a good talent to have. Jane says, hi, late today as have been cleaning up the garden. Now that autumn is really here, geeky jumpers are going to be really cool. I'm very much looking forward to these. And that's why I've started with these, because like I say, I've lost my Sojo again. But I am excited about these and their knit projects, so I am not ruling out getting all 3 of them done in one day, which would be awesome. Bree says the Ballard blouse looks gorgeous to Alison. So Felicia says, did you find a difference in ironing pattern pieces? Yes, 100%. And I tell everybody to do it. I really do. And because it's really, I trace them and it really, they crease. And these aren't too bad. But the tissue ones particularly, you just need to iron them flat, because if you get like 2 or 3 wrinkles in your tissue when you're cutting it out, that can make a difference of like ½ an inch, you know, if you add them all up. So yeah, iron your pattern pieces. Alison says, I sewed up my very first Lady McElroy fabric today. I accidentally ordered the large Epic Spectacle 1.5 meters and didn't know what I could make with it. So I have settled for the Love Notions Harmony. Ooh, nice. Rotten Ralph says, I have cropped jumper with ruffles that I love despite the 3/4 sleeves. I'm being inspired to make jumpers. Can't think why. Alison says to Brie, Love Notions had a big sale last week. All the patterns were 40% off. And if you use Tomcat discount of 10%, they were all half price. Love Notion patterns are great. Karen says, wow, just Googled them and they have an awesome range for my wee boy too. Thank you for the tip. No worries. I love me Susu patterns. I haven't made any yet. I've got the Dyer sweater and the stereo, and there's a few more that I want, but this will be my first time making them. And I'm trying to be good and use what I've got rather than buy new ones, because we all know how I get about the shiny new. Natalie says, good morning. Good morning. Rotten Ralph says, doesn't everybody iron them? They should. It's one of my hard and fast rules. Sal says, I just got a ticket to see Moulin Rouge, the musical in Sydney, seeing it with my parents. Can't wait. Oh, awesome. Marianne says, thank you for the pattern info. It's just the right little cover. Cool. Right. Okay. Let's get this one ironed before the iron turns itself completely off. Itchy nose. We all know I'm going to go for the balloon sleeve. We all know that that's going to happen. Okay. And so that's the bottom band, the upper sleeve portions, and the bottom sleeve portions with both the balloon sleeve. This is why this has got so many pieces. This one's going to be interesting. They've got lengthened and shortened lines. We know how I feel about that. I always think it's incredibly lazy when patterns don't have lengthened and shortened lines on them. And I appreciate that some are harder to do than others. And some patterns do say cannot be lengthened or shortened in the torso. And that's only because it's more difficult. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the torso. So putting a lengthened and shortened line in is possible, completely possible, but more difficult to do. So some of the, especially like Vogue and McCall's, are terrible for that. They're like, yeah, lengthening above the bust or lengthening above the waist is not possible on this pattern. It's like, yes, it is. It's a lot of work, and you don't want to write the instructions for it. or have to draft pattern pieces for taller and shorter people. And I think it's really daft to do that kind of thing because not everybody is 5'6" and a V-cut. And I do get a lot of people who've been sewing for, well, not just those people, but I do get a lot of people, especially on that video that I did. I'm not looking forward to tracing this. Yeah, that video that I did, you know, the size comparison, the like pattern companies are lying to us. I got so many people being like, oh, you're being special snowflakes. Like the pattern companies don't have to teach you how to sew. That's not their job. And they don't have to, you know, you should know to measure your pattern before you cut it out and all these different things. And it's like, okay, fine. But so much basic knowledge of sewing isn't being taught anymore anywhere. And it's like, oh, but you should know this. If you're new to sewing, how should you know this? Where is this information? Where is this holy grail of you should know this information? Where is that you should know it written? And it's not anywhere. It's word of mouth and people finding out and figuring it out for themselves and things like that. And it's just really frustrating. But new patterns are coming out and apparently they are changing. So we shall see. I got an email from the company just saying, yes, sorry, we didn't get back to you with the press release. Like, no, it's not a problem. I need to reply to that email actually. But yeah, hopefully you'll have noticed that new patterns are coming out with the new information and the envelope should be improved. And I had a look at a couple of them online and again, it was just finished bust measurements and that's it. And it's like, and then somebody was like, well, if I hated something that much, I wouldn't buy them. And it's like, but I don't hate the designs. I love the designs. The designs are great. I just think that the information that provided with them should be a little clearer. There we go. Delicious. Delicious. Right, where did I get you? Where's the chat? So Felicia says, started tracing my pattern in that lightweight interfacing or tracing and cut fabric, but I iron out the wrinkles with my hands. I mean, to be fair, as I've said repeatedly, if you end up with a result that you like, however you got there is the correct way. There is no correct way. You guys know I love Bianca from the Closet Historian, and she was talking about her sewing rules the other day, and her hard and fast ones were, what were they? Ironing is a must. Ironing is an absolute must, and I have to agree. You have to press your garment as you go, and for me, I just prefer working with a nice flat pattern that I'm not wrestling with. Again, like if what you do works for you and you end up with a result that you are happy with, then what you do is the correct way. That is, if you enjoy the process and you get a garment at the end that you like, it's the correct process, regardless of what anyone else says. And, you know, like I'm sitting here going, yes, you must do the thing. That's because I like the end result of me doing the thing. But it's not actually me saying that if you don't do this, you are incorrect. Not at all. You do. Sewing is meant to be enjoyable. And if you end up with results you like, then however you get there is awesome. For me, ironing my patterns flat is my preferred way of doing things. So yeah. I find it easier to trace them, and that's another thing. Loads of people are like, why don't you trace it? And it's like, because this is expensive. I don't want to have 4 pages reprinted if I want to make a larger size. No. So yeah, right, okay. Oh gosh, there's so many options on this one. It's one of the things I love about me Susu patterns, many options, but also like, oh my god, tracing it. I mean, that's the other thing. Like some of these pattern pieces have like 1, 2, 3 options on them, 4 options on them. And if I cut one of those options out, that's the smaller option, then that limits me in the future from making the different options. Obviously, you could cut out the biggest piece and then kind of fold and that to me was also a load of faff. I'm just going to trace. I'm just going to trace it. Much easier. My preferred method. So yes. Rotten Ralph says, I just thought it went without saying, but I guess it shouldn't go without being said. Yeah. Eliza, the pudgy professor, says, good morning from the chilly 29 degrees Fahrenheit, -2 degrees Ohio in the US. Shan, I love your dress. What is the fabric? Thank you. Victory Patterns Jackie dress, and it is a stretch velvet from the Textile Centre. And we are into me wearing my mini sauna suits because it's currently 19 degrees in here. I'm getting toasty warm because it was 15, 16 when I came in. So I'm feeling much warmer now. This is set to 20. We're not allowed to have the heating over 21 because of the cost of everything in the UK at the moment. It's just gone nuts. So yes. So Felicia, Rotten Ralph says to So Felicia, if you have the Swedish tracing paper, that makes sense. Yes, I still iron that myself, but again, whatever you want to do, and if it works for you, is the correct answer. Alison says to Brie, the Harmony blouse is a great pattern, especially for layering. I chose it because it's a good pattern for large print. I have made another one with Spotlight Scenery rayon. Oh, I don't think I need to see that either, do I, Alison? The word scenery, and I'm like, oh, it's rayon, you say? Let me see. No, must behave. I've been very good. I haven't looked at Spotlight's rayon section for a long time because the last time I did that, I ended up with like a giant basket full that both Claire and then Sandra had to smuggle over for me. I have a Spotlight problem. Katrin says, a French toast for 250 military cadets this morning. Thrilled to breeze through and see a live chat. We'll think of you all as I whip up this crazy breakfast I will watch later today. Enjoy, Katrin. French toast. Delicious. Rotten Ralph says, most people aren't willing to do work to lengthen and shorten. Yeah. For me, the point, or one of the points of sewing, is that I then get a garment that fits me really well. I've added 2 inches of length to get the waist on my waist of this dress, because otherwise it would be up here and then the flare would be from there, and it wouldn't be as good, I don't think, on me. The other thing about wearing velvet is you're constantly stroking yourself. Like, I feel nice. I feel nice. So yeah. But yeah, no, for me, part of the point of sewing is, I'm procrastinating tracing this, can you tell? But part of the point of sewing is to get beautifully fitted garments. So yeah. Yes. Sal says to Katrin, French seam toast. So Felicia says to Rotten Ralph, I'm not sure what Swedish tracing paper is. It sounds like what you're using, the stuff that you can trace and sew and it's slightly see-through, and it sounds like what you're using. Kiki says, yes, thank you, Shan. Sewing isn't taught anywhere anymore, and it's near impossible to find a class or someone who can teach you dressmaking. It's channels like yours that have taught me so. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. And I'm completely self-taught. You know, like I would love to have gone to school for that, but when I was applying, well, I didn't ever apply for university. I went for I went for an apprenticeship basically. I did, you know, at 16 rather than do my A levels and school. I went straight into the workplace as an apprentice and as a travel agent of all things. And at that time, it hadn't even occurred to me that sewing was something that I could do for a living. Because making it as an actual designer, very difficult. And I really didn't want to just sit and sew batches, and haute couture hadn't even crossed my head. And yeah, it wasn't one of those things that I even kind of considered. And I decided against university because I really didn't want to get I should have done it because the student debt back then. My niece told me how much student debt she's gotten into. Just like, wow. But yeah, back then student debt would have been much smaller, but I just didn't want to get a giant load of debt for a degree that I wasn't passionate about. So that's why the route that I went. But going back, if I had 20/20 vision, hindsight, you know, I would definitely have gone to school to learn to sew and started doing this way earlier because I love it. But there we go. So Felicia says, true that. Yes. Rotten Ralph says, when sewing manuals say finish in the usual way, it drives me insane. Yes. Completely agree with you. Yes. Karen says, so many options, and there's Hackalog too, like the cutout one. Have you seen that one? I haven't. No, I haven't. Oh dear. I need to just get this traced. I'm putting it off. I'm catching up with the chat. Yeah, this is totally reasonable procrastination. Elena says, hi, lovely Shan and Peeps. Hello. Karen says, good morning from Texas. Good morning. Sal says, it's the same with cosplay prop making. No matter how you make it, if it looks like the desired character prop, then that is what matters. Have you guys heard of the biggest YouTube art collab? It started by 1000, and I found out about it because of Nerdforge, and then I went back. They did it last year. I went back and watched the previous people. I love watching art and being made. It's something that I do a lot of when I'm kind of doing like paperwork and stuff like that. But there was a guy. There's 2 of the art challenges going on this year. One is going to anybody, and then the other one can only go to a channel smaller than you. And I'm trying to find Bill Making Stuff is the last person who got the one that has to go to a smaller channel than you. And it's like it's a board, like a piece of wood that people have been painting on. But he can paint, but he was just like, I don't do that. I do other things. I make like sculptures and things. And he did like a shadow box, and he was making all this stuff for it, and it was just like, oh god, that looks really janky. It was like, oh, but it's like, trust the process. He painted it, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. It looks like a computer game that I used to play called Machinarium. And it was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's really interesting because his entire process, he was like, oh, they look a bit crap, but trust the process. And you start doing this and that and the other. And this is the first one of his videos that I'd seen. And so I had no idea what to expect, but it was and he was using a pattern notcher at one point. He's like, well, I've got this whole punch. I don't know what it's for, but it's this. So I commented and I was just like, oh my god, love it. And if you're interested, that thing was a pattern notcher for making sewing patterns. But it was one of those ones where, again, it was like at the end, at the end, if it looks brilliant at the end, then the process, as long as you're enjoying the process, doesn't matter. And it was one of those ones, Sal, where I was just like, this is looking not that great, and then the finished item is amazing. But yeah, his channel's called Bill Making Stuff. 1000 is the person that started it, and he's done 2. And they are, if you like watching art videos, some of them are a bit much. Some of them, it's not so much about the art, it's more about the production. But seeing the final piece was brilliant. But I really like Bill Making Stuff. His channel was really cool. He also has a cat, which is a really good cat. I like the cat very much. So yeah. Anyway, Conchetta, I was taught to sew by my mum. We always iron patterns but never trace them. I shared with her your reasons for tracing. She thought it was a brilliant idea. See, again, I learned that from By Hand London when I was doing the Anna bodice or the Anna dress for the first time. They were like, trace the pattern. I'm like, okay, I did as I was told. Genius idea, because I now have the original Anna that they don't even make anymore. And when I needed the bigger size, because I did, I had the original to go back to and trace the new size from. So highly recommend. But again, that's me. Alison says, Shan, I will invite you to the Spotlight group on Facebook. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. I need a Lost in Space badge for my jacket as well. Conchetta says, so not only have I learnt so much, my 80-year-old mama has started doing something new. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yay. Debbie says, I have discovered that the DIBY club has a free Udi pattern, so I'm hunting snuggly fabrics this weekend. I mentioned an Udi to my mum was like, what on earth is one of those? I showed her and she was like, oh wow. But because we'd mentioned it, then all I was getting served that weekend, this was when we were up at Big Birds, was Udi ads. I was like, no. But yeah. So Felicia says, okay. I believe it's Joe, isn't it? SSUJH1. Did I get that right? Is it Joe? Have I remembered correctly? She says, hi peeps from a very windy Troon. Debbie says, neither Alexander McQueen or Vivienne Westwood learned in the traditional way. Yeah, Vivienne Westwood used to go to charity shops, buy clothes, take them apart to see how they went together. I love that. And I really think that has influenced her deconstructed style a lot as well. So, Joe, I got it right. Yay. Sorry, got overexcited there. Yes, no, I know, I didn't know about Alexander McQueen, but I did know that about Vivienne Westwood. Jane says, I'm starting to teach a friend to sew next week. She does not own an iron. Shocked face. I will be taking one with me. Yes. Yes. I mean, I hate ironing at the best of times. I really am not a fan of ironing. But in sewing, it is absolutely essential to make sure. That is one rule that you should not break. Iron your stuff before you cross the seams. Don't cross the streams. Yeah, that is one hard and fast rule that you definitely shouldn't break. You should iron your stuff as you go, 100%. Bree says, where is Troon to Joe? And Joe says, Ayrshire Coast in West Scotland. Rotten Ralph says, my sister is teaching sewing classes with my mum. It's definitely not an easy thing to find. No, mum, like, I think mum told you last weekend at the live hangout with Big Bird, she started teaching a quilting class to some of her WI ladies at the Stitching Almas. But yeah, dressmaking. I don't know whether. Oh, there's a little coffee shop called the Apley Beach Cafe in Ryde, and they're doing crafting evenings in October and November. It's free to go along, and you can take knitting, crocheting, or sewing. 2 hours and just go and sit. And so Mum and I and Carrie are going, and it'll be really nice to meet other sewers on the island or knitters. So yeah, looking forward to that. Christopher says hi. Hello. Bree says, I found out today Perth, Australia has Frocktails this November. Oh, awesome. Are you going to go? Natalie says, I just started tracing patterns thanks to your influence, and it's really handy if you have to make a lot of fitting alterations, but I don't enjoy the tracing. No, I have to say it's not my favourite part. I am procrastinating this tracing session quite thoroughly with you guys, which is another reason I was doing this with you guys. So, yeah, it's not my favourite part. But that's the other side of things as well, is if you start... if you have to make a lot of alterations to your patterns and you do it to your original and it all goes horribly wrong, not having the original to go back to and start again would terrify me. So yes, I am an advocate for tracing, if you hadn't noticed, but I think you all have. Elena says, about tracing patterns, we traced all patterns in school's sewing classes, and we had to draw our own seam allowances to every piece according to the written instructions, or own if not mentioned anywhere. Interesting. So they were net patterns, as Bernadette Banner calls them. I know she prefers to work with net patterns, so she draws on the stitching line with chalk, and then she just kind of like roughly cuts around it, and that just means that as long as the stitching lines are meeting up, then the seam allowance can be whatever you've got left over, and that is a really good way of doing it if you are doing tailoring and stuff like that the way she does. It would drive me nuts. But only because I'm so used to doing it the way that I do it now. So yeah. Let's see, where did I get to? Christopher says, I love winter. Well, somebody has to. I'm not a fan. I like autumn. I like this time of year. I like dressing at this time of year. This time of year, getting dressed, very much enjoy. Marianne says, Here in upstate New York, introducing sewing classes are being brought back. COVID really changed the world as everything closed down. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, about the sewing classes, not the other thing. Teresa says, By Hand London are doing paper patterns again. Brilliant. I know they stopped for a while, didn't they? Quite a few of the indies have stopped for a while because of the closure of one of the... There was 2 factories that printed on tissue paper, and one of them closed down and got consolidated because they were owned by the same company. So I know there was a big hoo-ha about it. But I'm glad to hear that they're doing paper patterns because I love a paper pattern. That's my favourite. Bree says to Natalie, my least favourite task tracing out. Took me 2 days to trace the Megan Nielsen dress Matilda this week. And Bree says, yes, I think I will go to Frocktails. Why not, huh? I'm up for an adventure. And yeah, that will be awesome. And you get to meet some new people and an excuse to make a fancy dress. And then the more people that go, then the more likelihood that you guys can get together and go, you know what? We need an actual ball. So, yes. Marion says, some local sewing centres are offering beginner sewing classes in person. Most are available online early. I prefer in person. I think I do too, yes. Rotten Ralph says, my mum has been a crafty teacher for years, but at craft store she worked at until she retired, but she still teaches crochet, cross stitch, sewing, needlework is her favourite. Nice. Sal says, I have an art tutorial on my channel showing people how to Photoshop someone into the T-800 from the Terminator. Very cool. Johanna says, good morning, everyone. I will be in London next weekend and want to do some fabric tourism on the Goldhawk Road. Is there any specific cross street or block where the shops are? Yes. Have a look at my Goldhawk Road survival guide. There's a video for that. If you go to Shepherd's Bush, Wight City, Goldhawk Road is an actual tube station as well. The Goldhawk Road tube station, you come out of it, there's a Costa Coffee, and then all the fabric shops are on both sides of the road towards Shepherd's Bush. If you come from Shepherd's Bush or Wight City, just Google it, and I would suggest that you start on one side of the street, go up, have some lunch, and go and do the other side. But I have got a whole video on the survival guide for shopping on the Goldhawk Road if you want to have a look at that one. Teresa says, they're just selling off the last of the printed. Rotten Ralph says, nice to Sal. And Christopher says, love winter because I get to wear my wellies. I don't own a pair of wellies. Should have done. I've still got all the mud on my boots from when I went to the alpaca farm in January. Or was it February? Natalie says, I hate winter because I have to shovel tons of snow. Don't mind the cold, just hate the heavy lifting. Yeah, we bitch about winter here in the UK, and like ours are just mild, basically. They're just cold and grey. We don't really kind of ever have to shovel snow. We are definitely not that kind of climate. So Felicia says, Codrils are kicking in, going to sleep now. Good night. Thanks for letting me hang out. Thank you for joining us. Christopher says you should get some wellies. No, I don't go anywhere that I need wellies. Right. Okay, so I've caught up with the chat. There is no more procrastinating this. Let's get this traced. Okay. So what am I looking at here? Front bodice cotton fold. Cut here for crop length with bottom band. Cut here for crop length tunnel elastic. Cut here for regular length. Cut here for... Okay. Let's have a look at the length. Okay, let's have a look at the length of the back piece to work out which one I want to do. I think I want to do the cropped version with bottom band. I think. That one. Maybe I want to do regular length. I'm going to go through there. No, I'm going to do the cropped length with bottom band. Cropped length with bottom band. So I need to keep an eye on that. Okay. Bethany is here. Elena says to Natalie, we have a love-hate relationship with winter here. Eliza says, we have snow and freezing rain. Hate driving in it. Yeah, that's not fun. Christopher's asking, what do you have on your feet? I have shoes on. What do you have on your feet? Should I ask? Are you interested in a sewing channel, Christopher? Have you ended up here by accident? Natalie says, do you remember the winter when they had to call in the army to help clear the snow in Toronto, at least? Not sure about the rest of Ontario. And delicious. Rotten Ralph says, we have drizzle and warm humidity in winter here in Florida. I want to live in Florida. I actually want to live in Key West. Yeah. Sal says, if you have to shovel snow here in Australia, then you've asked for it and can't complain because you have to go to the few snow places. Yeah. Okay, Christopher, I don't think you're in the right place. I think you're going to go because you sound like you have a bit of a foot fetish, and this is not the place for you. Rotten Ralph says, my controversial thing is missing the snow in Colorado. Wow. Rachel Lynn is here. Good morning, all. Good morning. Rotten Ralph says, last time I was in England, it snowed more than it had in a century. You brought the snow with you, clearly. You brought the snow with you. Monica says, good morning, and everyone. Good morning, Sian. What are you working on, Sian? And I do not like driving in snow or freezing rain, but living in Ontario, Canada is at least 5 months of torture. I am doing my geeky jumper thing today, and I am tracing out geeky jumper pattern pieces. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. Okay. Collar facing, V-shaped collar front, round collar front. I think I will trace all of those pieces because I can imagine that I will want to do both. So EE is that line, which is that line. So let us trace with some patterns. So I'm rewatching Smallville at the moment, and I've got to the part, I think I've just started season 5, and it's kind of ringing bells, but I know I wasn't religious about watching it every single episode that came out. So a lot of it is kind of like, I kind of remember this. There are so many familiar faces, like guest stars and things like that. It's really interesting, and the music is so nostalgic. And Tom Welling, ooh, hello, when he popped up in Lucifer, it's one of those ones that's like, well, you're attractive, and we can see why I am still single, because no one like that is on the Isle of Wight. Yeah, at all. So stereo, sweater, collar facing, cut on fold, cut one on fold, and fabric optional interfacing size E. Yeah, you want to, when you're tracing stuff like this, you want to put as much information on the pattern piece as possible. Treat it like you're going to forget in 5 seconds what you've done. Because if you have a sieve brain like me, you can forget what you've done within 5 seconds. Ask me how. I know. Okay. Always a lot of work tracing these things out, but it is so worth it. But I have got my concentration face on, sorry. Proper concentration face. But I'm going to trace both the kind of diamond and the rounded neck front option because you never know, I might want to do both of those, although I think for this one I will be doing the rounded option because of the type of fabric I want to use for it. So again, I've got to write all of the details onto this piece. The shape, front collar, cut on fold, cut on fold, size E, cut one on the fold, don't interface. Okay, it does tell me that in the instructions as well, so I'm not going to worry about tracing that on or writing that down. Let's see where we get to with the chat. Where did we get to with the chat? There we got to. Rotten Rouse says, I did bring the snow with me when you visited the UK. Karen says, I love winter and miss it so much at Christmas time. This year we'll be in the UK, so I'm worried about the temperature shift from Brisbane to the Western Isles in December. Yes, that's going to be quite a considerable drop in temperature for you. Elena says to Natalie, yes, I did read about that in the papers. Here in Finland, we have separate government budget for winter snow removal, but we still have to shovel our own yards. Eliza says, probably a silly question. I was also late to the party, but what is the geeky jumper? An actual pattern or is it slang for a hack? No, I have. If you've watched the October fabric haul and plans, I'm putting off more tracing, by the way. I have these panels that I got from an American store and I want to use them, so I'm going to make jumpers out of them, and they are geeky, and so I have christened them the geeky jumpers. So I'm using the Shanklin patterns, Katrin and Sue, and the Miss Sue stereo sweater because they're all panelled which means that I will be able to use the surrounding fabrics of these to add in colour so that they will match together. At least that's how it goes in my head. We shall see if it actually comes out like that in real life. Rotten Ralph says the whole eastern seaboard of the US was frozen on my way home to Colorado. Blizzards and frozen citrus orchards. Oh, wow. Mary Ellen says, good morning, peeps. Marianne, where upstate in New York are you? I'm near Rochester. Monica says, I'm watching the Gilmore Girls. Made it to season 5. I love the Gilmore Girls. Sal says, I got a photo with Clark and Lex recently from Smallville. Very cool. Very cool. I really like Michael Rosenbaum's podcast interview thing that he does. Kachetta says, Eliza, the fabric is geeky. Sian is using some amazing panels to create jumpers from. Yes, thank you, Conchetta. Eliza says, thank you to Conchetta. I was almost embarrassed to ask. Thought it was a sewing term I was not aware of. Not at all. Please do ask. There are no silly questions. There are no silly questions. Rotten Ralph says, I'm not permitted to travel in the winter anymore because I stole the snow from my ski friends. Oh dear, does it literally follow you around the world? Then yes, you need to stay put when snow is needed. Eliza says, what is the pattern being traced? Does it look like a big 4? It is. This one. This is going to be awesome. Lynn says, Kenneth King says, I like to label my pattern pieces as if I'm going to be struck by amnesia at any second. It's in his Genius Craftsy class, and I absolutely live by that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. If you make any alterations, make notes of them, yeah, like everything that you do, put it on your written, because you will forget. You will, especially if you sew a lot. Elena says to Rotten Ralph, how did you manage to do that? Sal says, Sian, have you seen that both Tom Welling and Michael Rosenberg have a podcast of them watching every episode of Smallville? I haven't. Oh dear. Maybe I need to go back and actually, once I've watched them all, because I like I say, I know I'm getting to the end of the bits that I know I've seen. And there's 10 series, isn't there? So 10 seasons. So yeah. Rotten Ralph says, Elena, I don't know, it's a mystery, but my friend Matt was convinced. Una's here. Hi peeps. Lunch finish and on to finishing off taking in a 3/4 circle skirt I made according to Sian's tutorial, made from a duvet cover and then dyed turquoise. Ooh, pretty. Katrin says, hello. Elena says to Rotten Ralph, I will not mind if you still are snow this winter. Una says, oh, and I'm adding elastic to the waistband for snugness as weight changes. Cool. I'm thinking about doing the same with my denim skirt back there, just adding a little bit of elastic in at the back. Alison says, good night, Sian and peeps. Enjoy the rest of the live chat. Thank you for your email, Sian. It was a lovely surprise. Please give Chi a cuddle from me. Binks sends person headbutts. Thank you, Alison, and thank you, Binks. And I do get to my emails eventually. It does take me a very long time. You guys are very, very kind when you email me, and you email me very long emails, and then I feel like they deserve a proper answer. So it does take me a long time to get through my emails, but I do get there eventually. I think, Alison, you'd emailed me back in August, hadn't you? So it shows you how far behind I am, but I am working my way through them all. Monica says, Sian, what dress are you wearing? You look beautiful yet comfy. Thank you. This is the Victory Patterns Jackie dress in stretch velvet, and it is secret pajamas. Carmen says, good morning. 600 Mum says, I picked up Ahead of the Curve by Jenny Rushmore. I'm now sticking the fronts together because I still have to do a full bust adjustment on each pattern. Nice. Right, let's trace out the rounded collar, because this is the one that we're going to use for this make. Let's just double check. Yeah. Let's just double check that I am tracing the correct line, because we don't want to trace the wrong line. That would be bad. That would be bad. yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these geeky jumpers done. I think they're going to look awesome. And definitely help with the loss of the sojo. Just double check. These are not the easiest to see through. I wish I could afford Swedish tracing paper for this step, but given the amount I trace, it just would not be financially viable at all, because it's like £1.50 a metre and this stuff is like 3.3p a metre. It just wouldn't be financially viable for the amount of things that I trace. But this does work. Just the this is in the lines on this are distinct, but they're all in shades of grey and look just a little bit difficult. But we will get there. Stereo sweater. Round front collar. Cut one on filled size E. Use rib knit, don't interface. Okay, and that's pattern piece number 7, that's 8, and that's 9. Okay. Now, what are these? Cuff for rib knit fabric, cuff for main fabric. Oh, interesting. So the rib knit is actually a lot smaller. The rib knit panel is a lot smaller than the main fabric panel. That's interesting. And I will trace both of them because I will be a good girl. Makey says, hello all, being from the Netherlands, I'm very used to tracing patterns. We have magazines with impossible tracing having to be done. I always miss a few important markings. Oh, that's one of my projects that scares me for next year, is the dandle that the very lovely Katrin sent me with. She sent me the dandle pattern, the fabric, the little findings, the ribbon, everything to make it as a gorgeous silk. So yes, that is on my list of patterns that scare me. I'm procrastinating again. Any excuse to procrastinate. Any excuse. Now I've got to try and find it. Here it is. This one. She sent me. Let's try and get it. There we go. The little doodads, the fabric, the pattern. But yes, you have to trace a birder pattern because they all overlap with each other. So there is no, you can't cut these out. That's how they get them into the books or into the magazines. Many dandles, lots of different dandles, but I'm going to be doing that one. And that is on my projects that scare me. So next year, I will make up a muslin first. I won't just cut into the silk. having never made a bird pattern before, we'll definitely do mock-ups. Sal said the podcast is called Talkville. There are up to episode 13 of season 1, plus they have fellow stars from the show as well. Awesome. I'm going to love that. Yes, Tom Welling is rather yummy. Rotten Ralph says to Miki, I have some of those sorts of patterns. I heard them called spaghetti patterns because they look like spilled bowl of noodles. Nice. Katrin says, in happy news, my I'm scared of it cut-out jacket from a couple of weeks ago is now, I finished a jacket and I'm very pleased with it and it's been very admired. Oh, awesome. That is so cool. Una says, I'm amazed I'm sewing this weekend. Thought the dressmaker's ball might have caused me to want to rest. Loss of sojo. Teresa says, Sian, I wanted to thank you for your reply to my email. I'm now just starting my Matilda bodice and I'm going to try adding a peplum. Wish me luck. Good luck. Good luck. And I hope it comes out really nicely. I'm sure it will. Natalie says, without shaming anyone's kink, Christopher's welly request was a little funny. Wellies? I know, right? How somebody ended up here with a foot fetish is like, you're in the wrong place, dude. Mind you, I do have a video on shoes, don't I? Yeah. Una says, then again, I'm heading off to my sister in Ireland's beginning of November and really need new warm things to wear. Yes, warm is always good. Elena says to Miki, yep, tracing from magazine pattern sheet is a bit nightmarish with all the different coloured lines crossing and blending. Yeah. I've got the Burda carbon sheets, and my understanding is that you put your pattern paper down, you put the carbon sheet down, and then you put the piece that you're going to copy on top so that it's easy to see, and then using like a pencil or a biro that's empty, you trace out, and so the carbon paper traces onto the plain paper underneath, and that way you're not trying to put anything on top of the spaghetti, so it's easier to see. At least that is my understanding. And the Burda carbon sheets are the exact same size as the Burda pattern sheet, and they come in a bunch of different colours. We shall see. We shall see. So like I say, one of my projects that scare me. I will do it. It will happen. But Rotten Mouse says, I traced my Kestos bra pattern yesterday. Just had to upsize it by 4 inches. Monica says, agreed. I've yet to attempt tracing from my Fibre Mood magazine. I just don't know where to start. I love Fibre Mood, but I haven't. And I used to buy Burda quite a lot, as you've seen, but I've stopped doing it because I just don't make from them. I'm sure I'm going to love it, but it is something that scares me. Guys, I need to have a bio break, so I'm going to love you and leave you for a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Do not mess with the mannequin. Behave yourself. Look, the wrench has arrived. Jennifer's here. She will make sure you behave yourselves. Jennifer, do not lead the revolt. If I come back and you're leading the revolt, we will have no words. I'll be back in a second. can hear that I'm back. The door is so noisy. Did you behave yourselves? The chat's gone crazy. Let's see. Karen says, do you have a hack for tracing out the bird from the magazine? I borrowed one from the library and it's taking forever to trace out. That, the mention of the carbon sheets is my hack for it. But yeah, maybe invest in proper Swedish tracing paper, something that's really see-through, rather than it might be that tracing out patterns might be the time to invest in really good see-through tracing paper. Beaky says bird are the worst. Sorry, I haven't done one yet, so I can't really comment, but I agree. Bree's laughing. Joe says, I made a waistcoat from Berda for my niece with an applique duck on the inside. Don't ask. I made it beautifully, but didn't realise you needed to add seam allowance. Oh no. Elena says, remember that Berda patterns, you will have to draw your seam allowance yourself. This is good knowledge. This is fine for me because I like a particular type of seam allowance. So yeah, that's going to work for me. Katrin says the jacket pattern was the Charlotte Emma Patterns Barbary and had awesome instructions. I'm going to make it again with a few changes, so I fixed the tailoring in my brain. Oh, cool. Karen says, when I tried using the carbon sheet, did not work. It's really old. Should I just buy new sheets? Interesting. Possibly. But again, I'm no expert, so has anyone else got any tips and tricks for their Berda patterns? There's probably a video on it if you Google it on YouTube. Jennifer's here. Hello, gorgeous people. Maggie says, there is no hack, alas. The thinnest paper you can find. It's before 7 a.m. here in Texas, barely. Far too early. 6600 Mum says, I trace those on parchment paper, otherwise I won't touch them. Jane says, I'm a big Berda fan. Look at the picture of the pattern piece in the magazine. It shows the pattern markings, so you know you need to look out for on the spaghetti pattern. Rotten Ralph says, I might need some of those tracing sheets for my Japanese patterns. Ooh, yes. Una says, Berda tracing might be easier with a tracing wheel. Ooh, that's a good point. Yes, that could work. Jennifer says, mwah, you know me. Yes. Monica says, yes, carbon sheets sounds like it's doable. Again, that's just my understanding. I've never used them, so I don't know. Elena says, and some pattern pieces do not fit on the sheet, and they just said, add X amount of centimetres length to this, please. Oh, gosh. Thankfully, the piece that I'm trying to make is quite small, so fingers crossed it'll work. Jennifer says to Rotten Ralph, Amazon is the best place for tracing paper. Rachel Lynn says, Jennifer, are you moving the mannequin or should sell more? You guys are terrible. Rotten Ralph says, I have a tracing wheel, didn't know what it was for. It came with grandma's sewing things. So yeah, same kind of principle. You put your plain paper down, you put your pattern on top of it so you can see, and then use your tracing wheel to perforate it. That's the thing, it does do perforation, so you do need to be slightly careful, but that will perforate the fabric, the paper underneath, so that you can then use those perforations to trace lines, theoretically. Again, that's not something I've ever tried, but that's my understanding of it. Jane says, if sheets is very busy, I go round with coloured felt tip and then can see it, find a trace. Ooh, that's a good tip as well. Yes, very good tip. Monica says, yes, agreed. I purchased my tracing paper from Amazon. It's very good. Karen says to 600 Mum, parchment paper is a good idea. Thanks. Rotten Ralph says to Rachel Lynn, go plan, get it squared away so they don't fight. Rachel Lynn. Miss one. Oh yeah, good plan to get it squared away so they don't fight. You guys are terrible. Rachel Lynn says, tip from Berda is to go over the line with a highlighter, but you can't do that with a library copy. Also, some Berda patterns are now going up online. There might be a code in the magazine. I know that you could purchase the patterns from the magazines afterwards and like print them out, which is something that I might actually end up doing. Yeah. This says, I didn't move your mannequin, but mine are doing the can-can. Sal says, we took and moved something, Shan. Time for you to play. Spot the difference. Jane says, further tip, pick of the pattern in the magazine has numbers in corners of the pieces. Those are the seam numbers and show you what goes together with what. There's a lot of info there, honest. Yeah, I mean, it's a tried and true method. I know it works. It's just intimidating because I've never tried it before. So I will get there. Angelina says, baking paper is good for tracing. I'm guessing you guys have some very different types of baking paper, because although the stuff that Mum has is probably, again, very different to, yeah. But the width of tracing paper is important to me, and also the quantity. Una says, I've used my non-perforating tracing wheel. I've got a spiky one and a rounded spikes one for darts, but not whole patterns so far. Ah, good knowledge. Oh, good knowledge. Warren Ralph says, I have a prickly wheel and a solid wheel that's smooth as well. Ooh, okay, cool. Carol says, good morning. I use a tracing wheel with carbon paper. You can use the pointy one or the smooth one. There are two kinds of pointy one. The more pointy ones are not for tracing. Ah, good knowledge, good knowledge. Carmen says, I love my old timey-wimey tracing wheel. See, you guys, we are fonts of information. It is always good. Right. So this is the rib knit cuff, which, as I mentioned a little while back, is slightly smaller because obviously rib fabrics have more give and stretch in them. And I like that they've thought of that and given you the options. I think that that is a very nice thing for them to have done. And they've also got the direction of greatest stretch marked on here as well, which is cool. Okay, so we have the Sue Stereo sweater, rib knit only cuff, cut to size E. And that's 13A. And then we will trace out the one that I'm going to use this time, which is slightly wider for a less stretchy fabric. And the difference is not huge, but I love that they have thought about it and just said, yes, there's enough of a difference that we are going to mention it and create a completely separate pattern piece. I think that is awesome. Okay. And they've got the direction of greatest stretch marked on this as well. This is 13B. Me Sue Stereo sweater. Cuff, regular fabric, cut to size E. Lost all ability to write words there. EE. This is a very cool pattern. I love that they're giving you like all this information. Okay. And that's, yeah, 13B. Right. So Now we can trace the front and the back, and we are doing the cropped length with bottom band. This is all my offcuts from I'm going to try and talk and ruffle paper at you at the same time. All the offcuts from my giant skirt that I drafted. So I probably won't need any new paper from the roll, because these are all going to be big enough for those. I have decided to do a knit project just as Mum's in the middle of doing all of her knit projects as well. So I might have to steal the overlocker bag from her. Fingers crossed it won't take her very long to get that done. Or she might decide to work on James's shirt. So yeah. Yeah. Carol says the really spiky ones are just for perforating, i.e. when you do a garment copy. Ah, cool. Good knowledge. Thank you. Rotten Rouse says to Carol, so the longer spikes are perhaps useful for copying my jumper because they will go through the fabric. I get it now. Cool. Joe says, got to go and build flat pack furniture. Lovely to see you all. Nice to see you too, Joe. Enjoy your flat packing. Carol says to Rotten Ralph, yes, good luck with it. And Rotten Ralph says, have fun with your flat pack to Joe. And she says, I'm drinking my dragon fruit Red Bull this morning. They do dragon fruit Red Bull? I haven't had Red Bull in years. We all know how I feel about caffeine. It's not good. For me. Let me just clarify that. Cut here for right. Okay, so where is my line as well? Oh, so much information. Which one am I aiming for? I am aiming for here, this one. It's really weird. This paper isn't quite flat. And you would think paper would be flat. But there seems to be like a bit of a kink in it in the roll or something. It's kind of odd. I think that's your lot. Okay. So this one that I'm currently doing is the rounded neckline, and I will trace it again for the diamond or the V neckline. I might see if I can put in that extra line and maybe just fold it out of the way. If it is the kind of line that can get folded, we'll have a look. Can I just fold off that extra? Possibly. Yeah, actually. V neck, round neck. Yeah, that'll work. Awesome. So, pattern piece number 1, Misusu Stereo sweater. The amount of times that I've written that, you'd think I'd learn how to spell stereo. Front. Bodice. Cropped. Words are hard. Length. With band. Cut one on fold. Size E. Let's put in the lengthen and shorten line just in case I need it. And the cut on the fold line. Okay, so the bit that I've got left is the back, and I'm going to turn this around so that I can actually get at it. Make my life a little bit easier, so just give that a tick. Ticking all the pieces that I've traced as I go. So again, I don't forget anything, because we all know that that is entirely possible. Now, can I fit this pattern piece onto this piece of paper? Yes, I can, because this paper has no grain line, so it doesn't have to be straight. Ha ha! Fabulous. Let's procrastinate some more and come and catch up with the chat. Let's see. Miki says, does anyone know of a good video for how to use the tracing wheels? I've always stopped at the thought of damaging my fabric. I don't, but does anybody else? Carmen says, I just tried the winter special edition cranberry Red Bull. It's nice and covers 99% of the red bully aftertaste. Not for me. Rotten Ralph says, Red Bull is the only soda in the US that uses sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup, and I don't do corn because I have allergies. Ah, interesting. Oh, sorry, itchy nose. Itchy nose. Interesting. Carol says, I used to trace all my darts and markings onto my garments. Now I mostly use a combo of clips and tailor's tacks. I just use tracing on muslins. Recently threw out some 40-year-old tracing paper. Oh, wow. Dee says to Rotten Ralph, I'm allergic to all things corn too. It's such a pain. I miss tortilla chips. Oh. Carol says to Rotten Ralph, in the spring, buy up all the kosher for Passover Coca-Cola, no corn syrup, or see if you can find any made in Mexico. Ah, good knowledge. Rotten Ralph says to Dee, I have lectins intolerance. Have you seen the Siet tortilla chips? They are grain-free, but they are tortilla chips. Delightful. Nice. Carmen says to Rotten Ralph, what stores do you shop in? I know my Kroger affiliate has a few brands here that are HFCS free, high fructose corn syrup free. They are just usually in glass bottle packs. Rotten Ralph says to Carmen, I shop in Publix. Una says, I worked at an agency that promoted the first Red Bull alcohol mix, and people working on the account told us never to drink it because of all the chemicals. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. Right. Cut here for cropped with bottom band. And let's just get the right. So, there. That one. There we go. Okay, put in the lengthen and shorten line just in case. I don't think I'm gonna have to. I think the crop length is going to be good for me because the bottom band is going to add obviously a little bit of length as well. When I measured, it looked like it was going to be good. We shall obviously see, but I think it's going to be good. I am very much excited about these jumpers. I think they're going to be awesome. And like I say, it's going to be nice to have those panels actually sewn up. It's one of those things that, like, I bought it without really thinking about what I was even going to do with it. It was just, ooh, labyrinth, must have. And then the Tyrian one just happened to fall into my cart. I'm not quite sure how that happened. It was odd. Clearly just wanted to be owned by me, but I'm really glad that I'm finally going to actually make them up. But yes, I am trying to be better, because I do follow quite a lot of print on demand and pre-order print companies on Facebook, and they are lethal because there's so many prints that I'm just like, oh, I need that. And then it's like, actually think about it. The type of stuff that you wear, you don't need it. You wouldn't wear it very often. You already have some. You haven't used them yet. So I am trying to be better. Trying. How well that is working, I'm not really overly sure, but I am trying to be better. Okay, so I have traced off everything on this sheet, so we can fold this back up and put it away. So I'm trying to use the previous fold lines because they have sized it perfectly to fit into the folder. So that one is done. Now we're on to all the sleeve options. So many sleeves. Oh, they've done the rib knit band as well. Right. Sleeve, front part, black part. That's the middle part. I definitely want to do this one. Cut here for banded sleeves. What does banded sleeves mean? Oh, sleeve with the, yes, okay. Okay. Cut along the dotted lines for sleeve option 5. See tutorial for more. So many options. So many options. Shall we? What's this bit? Stereo sweater front bodice with bust adjustment, cut on fold. I've already done it. Nope, yeah, because mine was not more than 3 inches, so I don't need this piece. I haven't printed out the instructions for this because the instructions, as I say, were 63 pages. So front bodice with bust adjustment. They've already done a bust adjustment, that's awesome. But I don't need that because my high bust and my full bust, there is a 3-inch difference, and you only needed the bust adjustment if there was more than 3 inches of difference. So that one can go away. So we've only got 2 pages left to do, and it's all sleeves. Because all the drama of this one's in the sleeves, which is awesome. Itchy nose. Let's see. Una says, like the live folks, 69 likes and 109 of us live, 103 and 84 likes on my screen. Dee says, Rotten Ralph, hadn't heard of those chips, but I'll definitely be looking now. Thank you. Una says, I've just finished threading the wide elastic through the waistband and now realise that the seam allowance on the front, is on the front of it and showing through the waistband. Oh no. Amy says, I see those chips at Costco. Rotten Ralph says to Dee, they started in Whole Foods and I was working there. It was a revelation. Carol says to Rotten Ralph, or get a soda stream and make your own syrups. Ooh. Rachel Lynn says, my child has grown at least 5 inches this year and currently making her all new dresses and some new shirts. She's almost as tall as I am at 12. Oh, wow. Rotten Ralph says to Una, I understand your pain, but seam ripper and continue. And Rotten Ralph says to Carol, the goal is to keep to 1 soda per day. Soda stream would enable me. Elena says, oh no, Una, will you redo the elastic now? Carmen says, growing kids are a pain. When mine were little, I used to make a ruffle for each skirt or dress and tucked it away in case of growth spurt. It helped. Nice. I love it because kids grow, obviously. Rotten Mouse says to Rachel Lynn, if she went the other way, you would worry. This is true. Yes, it's good that she's going upwards and not downwards. If she was shrinking, we would worry. Guys, I am hungry. It's 1:30. No wonder I'm hungry. So I am going to call it a day for now, but thank you very much for hanging out with me whilst I procrastinated tracing out these patterns. I'm going to eat my lunch, watch an episode of Smallville, and then carry on with this tracing out and get this done. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We can do it. We can do it. So yes, anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out with me. It's been lovely to see you all. Thank you for watching the video that went up this morning rather than last night. Fun times with YouTube glitches. There will hopefully be some waffles this week. I'm not 100% sure. The Friday video is probably going to be making geeky jumpers, funnily enough. And I am also going to be starting on my 5 pieces from 1 pattern video as well, although I don't think that's going to go up this weekend because I don't think I'm going to get it finished, probably next weekend. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. It was lovely to see all of you. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I will see you all next Sunday for another live hangout, but I shall see you for waffles during the week. So I shall see you all then. Bye.